Okay, you have that sheet. Assuming you were able to find a lot of the answers for terms and acronyms. Again, true, false, multiple choice. Good practices at the end of the chapter. And then some short questions. It's going to be some if statements. Write this to solve this using if statements. One of the test questions are going to be, oh, I should switch my camera. Country road, take me home. Can I use the term to prepare for the test? Yes, but you can't use it on the test. You can't have any papers or the textbook out for the test. Question. Here we go. What are the logic operators? Excuse me, let's start with relational. What are the relational operators?
Those are like your less than equal, or like the double equals, less than equal to, equal to, greater than, and not equal to, right? With that exclamation point.
There they are. There's six of them. Compares expressions.
1 minute. Let me write this down on a napkin.
And always, I did hit record, right? Yeah, it's recording. Compares expressions. For example, is x less than 4? Is x plus 2 greater than or whatever, greater than or equal to some? From math, you had expressions, from simple to complex expressions. And math, you had equations because they had an equal sign in. Okay, this isn't an equation. Our equal sign is the assignment operator. So it compares, and then the result is what? X is less than 4,
Oh,
probably going to,
Boolean, true
it's
or
going to
false?
be a Boolean. Yep. We had the logic operators. And again, all of this is work that I may need inside of these parentheses for an if or a while, which is coming up in next chapter. But I need some kind of thing to evaluate out as true or false. And as I said, we start with relational operators, and now we have logic operators. And the logic operators are this guy and, or, and not. And these compare Boolean result Boolean. And you should have seen a bunch of examples along the lines of working with logic operators. We had some string things. If I said if string one, well, string one, what's that doing? What is this doing?
Could you scroll up a little bit so I can see
Yeah.
the? Thank you.
Did you see me do it like my mouse? Now I'm going to scroll back down. I'm doing a slow scroll. Does this statement
But
do? Oh,
it's asking if those two strings are equal to each other, but isn't it supposed to be like the dot equals to for strings, like the value of strings?
I start with this and say, what is this doing? This is comparing addresses. Do they both? Because the variable string stores an address, not a value. This stores an address. So I can't do a comparison to see if this is true or false unless I'm worrying about what the addresses are. So in order to take care of that, we had something called dot equals. And again, that was in like code listing 3.8 or 3.9, somewhere along the lines. If I wanted to compare two strings, I'd say if string one dot equals string 2. And we'll understand not long from now what that dot equals. Today's the 5th day of the semester, or 5th week of the semester. We're a third of the way through this semester. Everybody say, what? What are some of the functions? Name one. Equals hello, mom. I had a function called dot char at. If I said 0, what's dot char at 0?
It will
Name one.
return the H.
Yes, it would return the capital H. Very good. If I said another function, just like equals, excuse me, these are called methods. Name one dot length, and there's nothing being passed. What's the length of my string?
9, right? Is the
1,
space
2,
counted?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is correct. This would be 9. Good. We got into a switch statement. Okay, a switch statement. If that number is 1, it does this, hits the brake and gets out all the way down. If it's case 2, it does this, hits the brake, gets all the way out. We can or cannot have a default if we want. If the brake is eliminated here, it would go case 1 system and it would keep trickling down into case 2 and then it would break out. So be really cautious with brakes. Be really cautious with brakes. Questions on what we did with the lecture for the rest of chapter 3. For the rest of chapter 3. All right, let's put some of that knowledge to use. And today we are going to write a program. Bear with me. We are going to write a program to calculate the letter grade of 3 tests. Write a program to calculate the letter grade of 3 tests. Okay, I'm going to start out with, let's try some test data. Test 1, test 2, test 3, average, letter grade. Straight up, we're not doing any rounding. We're not rounding up. An 89.9 is a B.
Should we calculate the letter grade of each test or just the average?
That's the average.
Okay.
89.9% is a B. Is a B. Okay. So I want to start with some test data. Now, don't just throw numbers out. Have a purpose for what the numbers are that you're throwing out. And go. 0,
Uh,
0,
uh,
0, 0. How's
yeah.
that? Yeah. How about 89, 89, 90? The average is 89.66. We'll go to we'll go to 3 decimal places. Okay. Unless it's money, then with the money, because it's all about the money, money, money. This is a B. That is a B. Actually, this isn't 666, is it? It's 333. Ooh. About 60, 70, 80. What's the average?
70.
70, right? And that should be a C. Now, how am I calculating the average? That seems to be like my only calculation going on here. One of two. My first calculation is the average. The second calculation is calculating the letter grade. So, how
So
am I
you're
going
I'm guessing
adding
it's
all
90,
three
90
together
and
and
above
then
is
dividing them
A,
by the number of.
E and
to?
above is C.
Well, so I'm going to start by adding the numbers together. What data type should average be?
And then finding the mean.
What data type should average be?
The
Double.
mean.
Oh, no,
No, with data type. Integer, double,
double,
Boolean, char.
double.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
thinking I should make this double. Has anybody ever gotten a test grade that would be a double? Have you ever gotten an 89.2?
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I think I probably
yeah,
have,
we
but
should
usually it's
probably make
rounded.
all of these doubles. What should I divide by?
The amount of tests.
3. Now, should that be 3 or 3.0?
Just be 3.
Yeah, it can be either because this side is already a double. This is going to be doing double division. Now, if these were all ints and this was an int, that'd be bad because we want to get a double in there. That's when we'd have to make this like 3.0. All right, so I have that. So my input, I'm going to start there. I need to get test 1, get test 2, get test 3. Okay, my processing. Well, when I was doing all this work up here, wow, I hit this. Average equals test. I didn't type it all yet because the typing part's easy, unless you skip this step. Plus test 2 plus test 3 divided by 3. And my data types are all good. The doubles, the integers, whatever I want to use, I'm good. I have something else in calculating, and that's going to be to calculate the letter grade. So how would you like to do that? What you got for me? I'm going to need an if statement.
Yeah, we could use if statements and then our relational operators
So I'm the
too.
typer. You tell me what to do.
If
So I guess if average is greater than or equal to, so yeah, 90.
Okay. And again, we're doing an
And
algorithm. So I'm going to display what?
the letter grade is an A.
Yeah. Keep going. What would my next? Tell me what to keep typing.
Hmm.
it would be an else if
Yeah.
statement because you're going to
Yeah.
need to do more than one, and you're
Right.
going to have to use the logical operators and to cover the range. So it's
Okay.
going to be if your average is greater than or equal to 80, but
Hmm.
less than 90.
Love what you're thinking, Cassie. Great instincts. I'm going to back you up just a notch. What if my average is 93? I go, if average is 93, I display an A, and then where do I go? It's
It
out.
should just skip to the end, right?
It's
Yeah.
out of there. Yeah. So we no longer have to worry about grades 90 and above because they're already taken care of and out. So I only need to know if it's greater than or equal to 80. What she was saying was she was putting this into words to average is less than 90. If average is greater than or equal to 80 and average is less than 90, She was putting all of that in there. Perfect. There is nothing wrong with doing that. But I didn't know from the line before, I took care of all of my 90s. They're gone. They are gone. Cassie, you got that? Yeah, good, good, good. Display B. Else if average is greater than or equal to 70. Oh, I used the wrong sign. That's okay. Display C. Else display fail.
No D.
Nope. A D is pretty much a failure in 95% of classes anyhow. You have to take
Yeah.
it. I don't even know why we have these, but it puts a 1 in there for your GPA and da 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 da. Output. What should we display? Well, we already took care of that, right? We took care of A, B, C, and fail. Now we make this a lot prettier down the road. We would say instead of display A, your current average is AV, your letter grade is, something along those lines. That's the pretty part. We can juice all of that up later. Okay. So now, before we go on, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to pause. I'm going to put you in groups, and I'm going to let you write this program. Pausing the recording. Cassie is going to now share her program, and this is where the farthest group is. You don't have to be upset if you're behind, but I want you to take a. Jack, that's you, right?
Sir?
That darn
The
chirp.
smoke detector beep.
That's
Yeah,
not me. That's
I
not me.
know. Jack said it's him. I keep looking around.
No, I said it's not me.
Oh, it's not you. Oh,
No, I
no.
said someone else in my group. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, then it might be me, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to run through this quickly. Up in my declaration sections, line 15, 16, and 17, they use an input string to go to line 21 and say, I'm going to read in something from my dialog box, store it temporarily in an input string, and then parse it. Turn it into a double so I can store it in test one. I think both of the other two groups were doing those two lines as one, which is okay. Get the second score, get the third score. That takes care of the input. Are there any questions on what is going on up to this point?
Just a comment.
Yeah.
I typically don't do them as one because if you're requiring different kinds of data, like a double, an integer, or something else, if you keep it separately for the future when you're copying and pasting into other programs, it's a reminder to double check the type of data you're asking for.
So Kathy and Ian, that group, what did you guys do a lot of for this program?
We took a lot of information from
Oh, yeah,
the
we copied.
cell phone chargers.
You did a lot of cut and paste. Syntax wise, if you know what you have, it's better than trying to recreate it from scratch. So cut and paste work good. Okay, go back to your program. And we have a giant if statement. Scroll down, scroll down. Line 37 as we do the calculation of finding the average. Line 39, you notice if average is greater than or equal to 90, letter grade is getting the value of A. Originally, you can see they had a very simple, your average letter grade is A, but then they got to talking, wouldn't it be nice if, the output said, here are your 3 test scores, your average is blah, 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 your letter grade is blah, blah, blah. It's called echo printing the input to display all that. But instead, they stored it, which is great. We have an if, else if, and then line 54 is the default. Anything less is an F. I don't have to, it's my default case. Now they got slick in line 63. Your average grade is, your letter grade is, and then they decided something that they learned somewhere along the line said, let's format it to this
Only,
situation
yeah, three
where
digits.
it's going to definitely display something in the ones column. If need be, display whatever there is in the tens and the hundreds. But if it's not needed, don't do it. It will display the tenths, hundredths, and thousandths digit, but not go any smaller than that. So their max is 3 digits to the left, 3 digits to the right, and the ones digit is required. That's the pounds and the zeros. Go ahead and run your program, please, Cassie.
We actually, oh yeah, the one digit is still required. I thought we removed the 10 digit being required. That was a thing that we had at one point.
So, you know the test data, you keep using it because we've already thought through test data 89, 89, and 90. That should give me the 89.33. Your letter grade is B. That's an excellent job. The only other thing that could have been added was here are your 3 test scores as part of the output. Questions for this group because Cassie's going to post it when we go back into breakout rooms in case you need it. Now, Cassie, stop sharing your screen, please. One of the things that we learned about is a switch statement to replace if then else, if then else, if then else. And a switch is going to be determined by whatever is in here. And once that's evaluated, it goes to these case statements. Could I use this to find letter grades? Could I say letter grade equals A after a certain thing happens? All right. What is an A? Well, an A is 100, or an A is all of these 90s 90, 91, 92, 90. They're all A's, agree? So let me ask you this. What would tell me if it's an A or not? What would tell me if any of these 10 numbers was an A? What do they all have in common?
We start with the number 9.
They start with a number 9, right? Now these are, and start with 9. These are all, could be all over the place, 91.66 and so forth and so forth. So the first thing I'm going to do is say, all right, I have average, right? And if I wanted to change average to an integer, how did I do it? Well, I did something called
Mhm.
casting. Casting. So I might want to have a line that says average temp equals int of average. So that would change this one to a 91. I'm going to cast my current average, which is a double. I'm going to turn it into an integer and store it in av temp. Okay, so I took care of all those decimal places. Now, how would I get the 9? How do I get those 9? This is something that's going
Would
to come up.
you,
Go ahead.
hmm,
What you got? You got an idea?
I thought I did, but then I
Okay.
forgot because I was thinking of something like the character at 0 type thing, but
No.
these are numbers, these are
Right.
integers, so
All right, so I'm going to help you out. Average temp divided by 10. What's 90, which is an
yeah,
integer,
that'll work.
divided by 10? A 9. 91 divided by 10? A 9. Because remember, this is integer division. So these two lines, first one would take care of the decimals. The second one would give me just a 9. Would help me to work with a case statement. So my switch would be on average temp Case 10, case 9,
Oh, I should switch. That's right.
letter grade equals A, break. You notice there's no break after 10 because a 10 and the 9 would give me a letter grade. Case 8, letter grade equals B. Case 7, letter grade equals C. And what's the default?
F,
Yeah, but what do I write there?
one letter grade equals.
I'm missing a break here. I'm missing a break here. And then I believe this is my default. Does that sound right? It was
Yeah.
brought up, but I wanted to show everybody, and this would be a good example. So I don't know if you're screenshotting it, you're doing what, you're doing what. Cassie's group is going to upload their current working program and then spend the next 23 minutes changing their if statement to a switch statement. And then when they get that, they're going to upload that as well. So do you know what, you understand what I need you to do for the rest of class? Get that first one up and running. And then if you have time, change your ifs to a case. Got to use this fancy slick code. But now that I see it, I know how to get that ones or that hundreds, tens column, tens column. Questions? Okay.
Hmm.
Call me if you need me.